battle for Middle-earth is about to begin.
Welcome, fellow travelers. We're there and back again with some more Dawnless Days. This is hopefully going to be the last installment of the Airborne campaign because we are mere steps away from achieving our victory goals. First off, let me just lower these settings here. Let's go to performance. There we go. Now, according to our objectives here, we're a very short distance away from achieving our short victory conditions. So we have conquered the required provinces, not that many, Dwarven Realms and Edid Mithrin. We've constructed the treasure hoard of Thoror, and we need to build 2 of each of the following buildings treasure hoards. So we're about to be finished with, I think we're still working on the second one of these 2. The long victory requires us to take over the province of Moria, so I'll have to make a deal with Lothlorien because they control all of those regions right now. So in order for us to control Moria, we're going to have to buy the entire province from the Lothlorien elves. And then we'll also have to construct 6 of these treasure hoards. But at the moment, we're very close to achieving short victory, and we have already achieved domination victory, which only requires us to reach a level of dominance 10. Okay, so I think I'm pretty good on the political tree. As for our enemies, as you can see on the map, all the evil factions have been completely annihilated. The only one that's left standing are the Haradrim down here. And now they're just holed up down here in their last remaining city in Gobel Anaban. And they'll be forced to surrender in 3 turns. Oh wow, they have an even worse garrison than I thought. Very tiny garrison, hardly any troops there.
I'll show him my axe.
A part of me is tempted to just lift the siege so that I can at least have a proper battle against the Haradrim, because I've been spending most of my time fighting the Easterlings. I fought the Haradrim on a few occasions, but Rohan's been annihilating them pretty well. So I think what I'll do is I will end this siege here and give him a chance to kind of build up some forces just so we can have a proper fight. Because this may be the only enemy, well, it's the only enemy left to fight, and this may be the only battle, the last battle that we'll actually fight for this campaign. Because most of this stream is just going to be spent building those treasure hoards, trying to buy Moria from the elves, and then also keep an eye on our diplomacy, because we have to spend a lot of money on giving our allies and our neighbors very expensive gifts in order to keep them on our good side, or in order to stay on their good side is what I mean to say. And our economy is doing great. As you can see, our income, we're bringing in like almost 15,000 per turn. And if another conflict does break out, it'll be, at this point, it'll only be between one of the good factions. There is a possibility that Dale and Gondor will end up going to war, because I'm getting a hint that their relations are not very good. Because if I go to, let me see here, not necessarily this, if I go to Gondor, our relationship with Gondor is in decline, partially because we're giving gifts to Dale, And we have treaties with Dale, so they're not big fans of the Lake Townsmen. And Northern Enedwythe, I'm not sure why they hate us. Oh yeah, because we had treaties with Rohan. Okay, so they are still at war with Rohan. And then our terms with Rohan looking pretty good, not too bad. The incompatible influence is what's kind of dampening our relationship for the most part. But again, that's something that can be remedied with some expensive gifts. And since our economy is at the top of its game, we're bringing in a lot of money every turn. So occasionally we can afford to bestow some, I would say, medium gifts to Rohan, to Dale, just to make sure they're not falling in the yellow or worst off in the red. Because once we're in the red with another faction, that pretty much is going to mean war. And I don't want to go to war with any of the good factions. I think that would be a horrible idea. But since the fighting against the Haradrim is pretty much done, I think I'm going to start sending my forces up north. I do want to be prepared for the worst case scenario, because if war does break out between Dale and Gondor, I'm not entirely sure which side I'm going to take. I'm hoping I can maybe avoid conflict altogether, but Dale may force me to make a choice. If I join Dale on the war, it's not just Gondor we're going to have to fight. It's got to be Rohan, too. Because I think Rohan, they are still allies, so by default, we're going to end up fighting the Rohirrim. So if war does break out, it's going to be a very, very large-scale global conflict, because our front is just stretched to the absolute max. We have colonies down here to the south. We still have... I mean, we won't have to worry about the north so much, but all the fighting's going to take place in the south. But if we decide not to help Dale, then there's a chance that Dale will end up betraying us and going to war with us. Of course, that could change depending on how poorly or how well they do in the war against Gondor. They might just leave us alone. Hard to tell at this moment, just what we're going to do if war breaks out, but I'm fairly confident it won't happen. Again, this is very hard difficulty, so anything could happen.
My axe grows restless.
I better get my spies in here just so I have an idea of what to expect. Yeah, we may not have much of a choice, because these guys are on their way to try to take this city.
This dwarf is ready.
I think I'll have about like one more turn to keep them under siege, because then the elves are going to catch up and take the city from under us, so I don't want that to happen. And I hope Lothlorien becomes a playable faction in the near future. That's one update I'm really looking forward to seeing. More factions being unlocked, in particular Lothlorien.
Get ready for war.
Okay, I'm going to send this spy this way. Let's put you on Forest March, keep you moving up north. Yeah, we don't really have to worry about this area. Let's check on diplomacy again. Oh, it's in the neck. What happened? Incompatible influence, trespasses. How did that happen? Are you kidding me? How did we trespass Rohan's territory? Where are we going? Oh, it's because of this. Gosh darn it. Are you for real? Okay, fine. Go back really quick and try to avoid that nightmare. Yeah, trespassing is very annoying in this game because it's just something that it's just going to fall completely under your radar if you're not paying attention at all. So it's very easy to miss this kind of stuff.
This dwarf is ready.
I mean, this is our territory, right? That's their border. Yeah.
Mind your courage. Get ready for war. My axe grows restless.
Alright, let's end that turn. But we gotta make sure we're not trespassing borders. That's really a very easy way to ruin your relationship with your neighbors. It's amazing how much of a penalty that continues to... And it's not just one time, it compounds too. Like, you keep trespassing someone's territory, then the diplomatic penalties are enormous.
Is ready.
Okay. Incompatible influence is now becoming even worse with Dale. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about this downturn. Oh, wow, it's getting even worse with the elves. The Woodland Realm was normally someone I could rely on being in, like, between 70 and 80, but, that's getting pretty low now. I'm not entirely sure why the influence is such an issue. And I've been cutting back on my cultural buildings, too. Yeah, so I'm not sure what to do about that. The incompatible influence seems like it's just getting worse and worse. Okay. I'm gonna try to achieve long victory. But short victory, I mean, depending on how much diplomacy continues to deteriorate, I think I'm just better off just sticking with short victory and domination, and that's it. It's the treasure hoard. Let's see. Buildings constructed. I don't think the treasure hoard has been... I mean, I know we had something in queue. Yeah, we've got a treasure hoard here. Let me check over here, too. Nope, there's nothing here. Nothing here. I thought we had a second treasure hoard in queue. Maybe I'm just remembering this wrong. Yeah, I guess I'm remembering this wrong. I thought we had a second one in queue. Check the objectives here then. Okay, well, let's just start constructing the second one. We'll do it up here in Gundabad, the Angmar Mountains. So I'll build a second treasure hoard there. I think we're just gonna have to take this little by little. Because we can't take such huge hits to our diplomacy all the time. Yeah, I wonder what we're gonna do about the incompatible influence. I don't think there's a lot that you can do about difference in influence. I just hope it's not going to continue compounding over time, but unless there's a better way for me to reduce those penalties. And we're going to be very careful over here. So I'm going to take, I think this is Doherty, right? Yeah, I'm going to take Doherty's army and start moving in this direction. Incompatible influence. Just what am I going to do about that? I'm going to deconstruct that. I might start making a deal with Lothlorien, because our relationship is still good enough with them to make an offer. Yeah. 90% chance they're going to take it.
Stand proud.
Oof, that's a good question. What am I gonna do with you guys? What I really need to happen right now is for a war to break out with somebody. Children of the Dunes need to be defeated, but I don't even know where those guys are. Is it down here? Are these the Children of the Dunes? Yep, they are. Okay, so he is rallying a new force. I think I'll give these guys just one more turn. Because I want a proper fight against the Haradrim. You know, some sort of fight. Anything.
I'll lead the way.
Just so I'm not
This dwarf.
deprived of military glory. Oh, he lost some troops crossing there. Let's continue having you cross there. Yeah, the incompatible influence is killing us. I'm not even sure what to do about this. And that's getting worse too. Yikes. Alright. And then... Yep, I'm going to see if I can make an offer. Let's see if it would be a good idea to buy that territory from them too. 12,000. Yeah, I'll do that. And then we'll have to convert some stuff, right? We might just keep this going for a little while. Yeah, we'll convert the farms to get food back going and wealth too. Might be a good idea to give something to Rohan to cheer them up, because if we go to war with Rohan, that's going to be really bad. Plus, they're allies with Gondor, so Gondor will more than likely go to war with us too, so I gotta try to keep these guys happy. That is not looking good. I'll give you a small gift, because I gotta spend a lot of money to acquire that new region from Lothlorien. Trying to conquer Moria. Not by the sword, but by the pen. Dominance score has increased. Well, how can our dominance score increase even more? There's no more dominance levels. Like, we're maxed out, I feel like. Alright, so now we're bringing in a lot of wealth. So here's the thing. Bestowing gifts is going to be easier because now we have so much more money. Gonna offer you a big gift. I just hope I don't have to keep doing this all the time, like every turn. I really wish there were some tips out there on how to avoid this incompatible influence, because it's really the only thing that's hurting us. And I can't seem to reverse it. This is what happens when we don't have enough enemies to fight, or no enemies left to fight. And then Lothlorien, still on good terms with them. So let's just buy Zurak Zagil, and we can achieve this next objective. This will put us in a really good spot. No, I don't want to declare war. I want this province. I want this region here. Oh, it belongs to the Woodland Realm. That's right. Okay. Okay. 90% chance they'll accept that. And then we're going to start converting some of this too, just to get food up. Yeah, food really needs to go up here. Maybe nothing too expensive. And we'll do this instead. There we go. Yeah, I gotta try to improve our relationship here. It's looking bad with Gondor, but only so much I can really do. And the Woodland Realm, I'm trying to keep this relationship from deteriorating, so I'll give you a medium gift as well. Let's try to keep you on a better... Try to keep you on your good side, if we can. Yeah, these guys are like a turn away, so I'm gonna have to fight these guys now, aren't I? Okay, so we're gonna be in for a proper fight this time. I'm happy about that. Go ahead and save this. This will be our last major battle to fight.
They can't hide from a dwarf.
You know what would
This
be
way.
cool is if we can get Rohan and Lothlorodian to help us out. That would be an interesting battle.
This dwarf is ready.
I think what I'll do is I'll just stick around here and see if when they attack, or they actually may need yeah, they're going to need at least one more turn to cross that river. So what we could do is wait for them to catch up. Then we can attack them. We'll get the elves and the Rohirrim to help us out. Governor. Let's see. Do that. Nothing wrong. Get some extra food. Alright, your ally has declared war on another faction calls for help. Okay, well... Northern Enedwythe. Okay, so they're only going to war against Enedwythe. That's a piss-poor faction over there. Backwater little clan. I don't care about those guys. We'll let the elves deal with them.
They can't hide from a dwarf.
Alright, looks like these guys got pushed back. Oh, now they're besieging the city, aren't they? Shoot. I need to take that city myself, because then we're going to be in trouble here. Alright, I'm going to go back and just besiege the city this time. Or I might just go ahead and take out the Haradrim now. Probably should have just seen that coming. They're just going to besiege the city.
My axe grows restless.
Yeah, and this, despite their numbers, this won't be a difficult battle. They've got some tier 3 units here. Not a whole lot of archers to worry about. And this is the most they can really summon, so... Alright, let him run away, because I need to take this city.
Come here.
Okay, we need to take this city. I might send Gimli out to go after this guy.
Mind your courage.
Alright, so public order will take a little bit of a downturn. That's okay. Actually, that's kind of low. Okay, let's see. Yes, you're only going to war against Enedwythe. I don't care about that. I'll just do it so it looks good on paper. Damn, it's getting harder to maintain good ties. I thought giving them a medium gift would help improve our relation here, but man. Incompatible. What is going on with incompatible influence? Why does it just keep getting worse? Oh, gosh. What am I supposed to do about that? What do I do about incompatible influence? Seriously. I may have to look this up, because there's got to be a better way to reduce this penalty, because now it just feels like it's compounding. Every other turn, it's just getting worse and worse, and I can't afford to take these hits like this. Okay, let's see. See if there's any tips on how to deal with this. The problem could just be our territorial expansion, because the more territory we conquer, the more it's going to impact our influence. Yeah, this is getting worse. This is getting worse. And if it gets in the red with Gondor, we're going to end up going to war with Gondor, which is very bad, so I've got to do something.
I'll show him my axe. Stand proud. Mind your courage.
Alright, Gimli, I'll send you back.
Let's get going.
So how am I going to deal with this incompatible influence? Because I didn't think it was going to get worse and worse. I think the problem could just be all the territory that we're absorbing, because the more territory we have, the more influence continues to grow. Oof. I hate the idea of having to surrender territory, but at this point, I'm just going to continue bestowing gifts. Yeah, hopefully that'll help change the tune a bit. And I think the Woodland Realm rejected our offer to buy this from them. Could try it again. 70,000. Yeah, it's getting worse. Oof. Rohan, it's deteriorating the Rohan, sadly. And unfortunately, once we're done building this treasure hoard... Oh, I think that's why. Because we built the treasure hoard. That's why. Yeah. Yeah, that's why. The treasure hoards are taking huge penalties, so... we definitely can't keep building more of those, because that's just going to continue hurting us. We'll have to hold off on that for a while. And then with Gondor, let's try to avoid war as best as we can. Yeah, we have a non-aggression pact with them, which is good. What's going on over here? Is it even possible to go after this guy? Because not even my spy can get in there.
They will fear me soon enough.
Okay. So we can't keep building any more of those treasure hoards, because that's what's really hurting us. Quest denied again. Dang. Well, we did achieve the short victory conditions. I'm not sure how much longer I want to go towards long victory, because that kind of scares me. Because it is getting, even with medium gifts being bestowed, it's hardly helping the situation. Yeah, it's going to be in the red. In like another 2 turns, it's going to start getting in the red. And once it's in the red, things will really start falling apart. Non-aggression pacts will be canceled. Alliances will deteriorate. I would love to take Zerak Ziggle, but the Woodland Realm keeps denying all of my requests. Could try that again. And then I'm going to offer you... Can't give them a bigger gift. What is this? Town burial sites. I think we'll just dismantle that. Might be time for us to start expanding on this. Yeah, we'll start building that too.
Get ready for war! Forward! I'll show him my axe!
Well,
They will fear me
very
soon
likely
enough.
we're just going to have to take this city. I don't want to hold out the siege because there's really not going to be any battles for us to fight unless we decide to go to war with half of Middle-earth, because with the way diplomacy is going, if we continue going for the long victory conditions, we're going to end up at war with Dale, Gondor, Rohan. Like, that's going to be way too much to deal with. Yeah, because right now we're kind of becoming the most hated, we're almost becoming the most hated faction in Middle-earth. A lot of people are not happy with our treasure hoarding. They're just jealous. Oh boy, it's getting worse. Okay. Well, let's take a look at the objectives then. We've achieved the short victory conditions. Yeah, we've got that down. Got that. Wait. But there's no check mark for this. Construct 2 of each of the following buildings. Yeah, we've got 2 treasure hoards. Yeah, the long victory conditions, we're just not going to meet that. I think it's going to be way too hard. Unless there's some way that we can just naturally alleviate tensions over time. I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, okay, so we have Moria under our control. That helps out. But we're going to have to start giving out some very expensive gifts. Because right now, we are very close to being in the red with a bunch of factions. Lothlorien seems to be kind of cool. Woodland Realm seems okay, but it's getting worse with Rohan, so take a look at our... Yeah, we got some money in the bank. That's good. Alright, I think we'll just fight this battle and be done with these guys. This may end up being a very short stream, because, again, not so confident about pushing this past short victory. Construct 2 of each of the following buildings. Yeah, we have 2 treasure hoards. That's a treasure hoard. And that's a treasure hoard as well. Yeah. So I'm not sure what we're missing here.
My axe grows restless. This dwarf is ready.
Alright, let's take a look at Moria. Public order could start becoming a problem here, so I think we should start getting another general in here. Help maintain some discipline in these regions. And then we'll have you... Yeah, we're going to have to convert one of these structures here so we can get some decent troops in the area. There we go. Recruitment complex, we'll get that going. Food is at negative 57, so why is food kind of struggling here? Yeah, food should be a lot better. I think it will be once these two... Yeah, once these 4 are done, food will be in the positive again.
They can't hide
And
from the
then
dwarf.
I'm going to wait to recruit troops. Let's start giving some gifts over to Rohan. Try my very best to to not make them angry. Please like me. What's up, Mural? I am doing fine over here. Just trying to make this the last stream for my Erebor campaign. And then I think we'll just go ahead and fight this battle. We'll get the elves to help us out here. Because I don't know where the Haradrim went. There was another army somewhere around here, but they kind of disappeared. I guess I could take you over here, right? Yeah, I don't see anybody left in this area. And this place will fall in 4 turns.
Come here.
Yeah, we'll get help from the elves. I think we'll just go ahead and fight this battle now. I was hoping for a much bigger battle, but this is probably the best we can get. How long have you been playing Total War? I've been playing Total War for a very long time. I think if I had to trace everything back, I was introduced to Total War with the original Shogun Total War, if you remember that one. Shogun Total War. I even played the original medieval Total War. But as for Attila, very recently. I've only just been getting into this because of Dawnless Days, but this is my second campaign that I'm properly finishing. Oh, you own all the Total War games. Yeah, that's a lot. I haven't really been doing that great with the more recent titles. I feel like the ones I had the most experience with are Rome Total War, Medieval 2 for sure, Empire Total War, and Napoleon Total War as well. But it's been years since I played Napoleon or Empire. Years. I think I played those games when I was still in high school. Those were amazing games. But I'm a big fan of Dawnless Days. I'm hoping to wrap up this campaign tonight and then maybe play as the Woodland Realm in the near future. Yeah, let's wait. Since you own all the Total War games, what do you think of Britannia? That's one Total War title that I've never tried at all. But I've heard some mixed things about it. Alright, let's start deployment. Okay.
Dwarves.
Yeah, I'm not very experienced with siege battles, so we'll see how this works. As you can see, I've got way too many siege rams. I don't think I needed this many rams.
Line it up.
But like I said, this will probably be the only battle that I'll be fighting this stream. Probably the very last battle for the campaign. Yeah, I'll keep 2 siege rams.
Be watchful. How about some fighting? Let's get in there.
Yeah, this should be interesting. I'd like to see how the elves are going to do.
Fire rises. The enemy city smolders.
Oh yeah. Thrones of Britannia? Yeah, that's what I mean. And I agree with you. Medieval 2 is definitely... I would definitely say Medieval 2 is one of the best for sure. It probably is my personal favorite because of all the great Lord of the Rings mods for it. But I am quickly becoming a very big fan of Dawnless Days, so I'd love to see where this mod goes in the coming year. Okay, let's take a look at this. Yeah, their walls have been torn down. We can just rush right in there. Hardly anything to worry about. Okay, catapults.
Come, warriors, they await us inside. They prepare, as I speak,
Our reinforcements enter the fray.
I think we're gonna wait for the elves to kind of catch up. I'd love to see these guys enter the fight too, even for a little bit. Alright, they got some Gondorians with them. Here they are. Yeah, I hope they're working on Lothlorien as the next faction for
Wiser men would flee before
their
our
next
numbers.
update. I've heard that you can technically play Lothlorien now. In fact, there's a mod that allows you to unlock all the factions in Dawnless Days, but the kicker is all the other factions you can play as, they don't have their own respective scripts. So even if you play as Lothlorien, there's no script to abide by, which is a bit of a disappointment. That's why I really want the developers to work on Lothlorien as their next release. Thrones, I personally don't like. It's basically a DLC, and it's worse than Attila, but I think Attila is basically a Rome 2 DLC. Yeah, I agree with you there. It's kind of weird how they kind of pushed Attila as a standalone when it first came out. I really thought it was just an expansion on Rome 2. There's really no difference in between the two. Alright, here we go. Even their towers are destroyed. Yeah, even their watchtowers can't cause any damage. Ooh. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting these guys moving. In fact, there's no need to tear down the gate. Alright. This will be a pretty hopeless defense for the Haradrim, but... yeah, these guys are already routed. Let's try to take these guys down with the catapults. Got an ad? Oh, okay. Yeah, this city is in ruins. Holy cow. I think all of their troops are literally on the front walls here. Uh-oh. Is our siege tower on fire? Oh, no, it isn't. I thought it was. Alright, we're about to breach the walls. Personally, here, let me just allow this here. Personally, I think Attila has the second best battles in the series, only beaten by Shogun 2. That's a really good point to make. I'm not a huge fan of Shogun 2, just because the campaign experience has always been rather unpleasant for me. I'm not a huge fan of the campaign experience, but I will admit the battles are probably some of the most balanced in Total War, and I would personally argue that some of the animations in Shogun 2 looks better than in later releases. For example, cavalry charges are way more impressive in Shogun 2 than in any other Total War title, hands down. It just looks way more realistic.
Get ready, dwarves.
And the physics just way better altogether. Alright. Time to tear these guys down.
Keep those spears ready.
Alright, we breached the walls, men.
The enemy is attacking our ally.
Ooh, is that their tier 2? Oh, that's tier 1, okay. They look pretty good for tier 1. Oh, and our Iron Guard have made it up here. Alright, let's get you guys in shield wall so you can come down here and join the fight. Okay, is that all of our siege equipment? Yeah, these guys are still climbing the ladders. Get over here and help out. Alright, let's have you guys just... I may have you guys stop shooting, because you're going to be hitting our own boys soon, so let's not do that. Might just have you hold your shots there. Let's see if we can get Dane in here quickly. Might be time to hit something else.
Victory! This is your
This was a quick battle. It's not much of a fight at all. I think we probably lost one dwarf.
Keep those spears ready.
Yeah, there's nobody else left to fight. I think we've literally killed everybody.
How about some fighting?
Oh. You can just drop that equipment. Is there anybody left to fight, or are they all dead? Nope. Those desert warriors are with Lorien. Alright, let's end that battle. And I'm determined to make this the last battle for Erebor. I haven't played Dawnless. I hear good things, but I don't personally like Attila after almost 1,000 hours. Yeah, that's a lot of game time with Attila. But my game time with Medieval 2, I still don't understand how I've accumulated this many hours, but apparently for Medieval 2, I have 1,600 hours clocked in for it on Steam. It's crazy. Yeah, I was hoping for a much more epic last stand from the Haradrim, but I guess I'll be happy with that.
This dwarf is ready.
Go ahead and start repairing a bunch of stuff. Might dismantle that. Yeah, and then we'll focus on just trying to get more food up here. Alright, let's see. Yep, the Haradrim are no longer a faction. On Steam for Medieval 2, I have 1,100 hours, probably 5,000 off Steam. Yeah, Medieval 2 for me is definitely the most clocked in for hours. I think it's only followed... Nothing really comes close to it. I think possibly Empire Total War. But like I said, it's been years since I played Empire. I think I've got like maybe 600 hours clocked in for that. And the last time I played Empire was probably when I was 20.
They can't hide from a dwarf.
Let's see. Okay, check on our diplomacy. Yeah, it's getting worse. It is getting so much harder to keep these guys happy. I think I'm okay with the elves. Lothlorien doesn't seem to be bothered by us all that much. But with Dale... Yeah, it's kind of weird how with Dale I just can't seem to make these guys happy. Rohan, it's improving. Gondor, getting worse. $30,000 gold for a generous gift. That's insane. Maybe I'll save my coinage and just see how much good that does us. But first, we're going to have to convert this. And food supply is really strong here. So I'll just do a couple of structures for food. Yeah, let's not do that. It's a little expensive. Not that either. We'll do a center as well. And we'll do this one too. Yeah, we'll just leave that alone. Next turn, we'll start doing a generous gift for Dale. But that's insanely expensive. 30,000 gold. Yikes. Alright, I'm going to put you guys here. And there's really nobody else left to fight.
Stand proud.
My goal is to try to avoid conflict with any of the good factions at all, because that's gonna drag things out for forever.
Dwarf.
Medieval 2 in Rome 1, by far I have the most amount of hours in. Actually, I have to check Rome 1. I think I have even more hours with Rome 1 than I do with Empire. Oh wait, that's right. With Rome 1, I keep forgetting that I never played Rome 1 on Steam. It's such an old game that I still have the CD copy. But I haven't played Rome 1 ever since I bought the, let me see, the remastered edition a few months back, but I barely touched it. I only really got it because I wanted to try out another Lord of the Rings mod that they made for it. In fact, they made 2 pretty good mods for it. They've got their own Third Age Total War version, and then someone did a really well done Fourth Age Total War. One of these days, I would love to give that mod a try, because I've already got it installed. I tried it out a little bit. It seems pretty cool. But I just wish there was a version of that game that had Medieval 2's engine, you know? Like the graphics, the looks, the mechanics. Because Rome just feels just kind of archaic in comparison. It's a very old game. Okay, how bad is it now? Nobody's in the red, but that's probably the only good news. That's not going to last very long. I'm just going to see how good this does for us if we give them a generous gift. Does that improve things at all? Yeah, that's extremely expensive. Hardly seems to be worth it.
They can't hide from a dwarf. Mind your courage. My axe grows restless.
If you have CD copy, you can enter the key in the box in Steam and add it to the library. Yeah, the problem is the CD copy is like, I think I lost the CD copy years ago. That's why I had to get the, Rome, I had to buy a Rome Total War when it was on sale on Steam. Okay, let's take a look at the objectives again. So I'm not sure what to do about the short victory, because I feel like I haven't achieved it yet. I have a check mark next to all of these except this. At the start of your turn, have an amount of 100,000 talents in your treasury. 100,000? Okay. So I guess what I'd have to do is wait till this number reaches 100,000. Then I think I'll achieve the short victory conditions. That may not be so bad. I feel like that's achievable. I just have to hold out for a few turns and do my utmost to avoid war. Peace treaty? No. Oh, they want to become a puppet state. Well, that's a new one. But I'm pretty sure my neighbors would not like that anyway, so I cannot accept. Mithril deposit. Our miners have located veins of mithril. This silver steel is light as a feather, yet as hard as dragon scales. A single coat of mithril rings is of greater value than the entire Shire. We will mine it. All that's left is for you to decide how to proceed. Okay, so if we dig with caution, 750 for the treasury. If we dig with haste, deeper delving reaches richer seams of rare mithril. And then the mountain is forced to yield every last trace of mithril, which I'm pretty sure this is going to be severe consequences for us. Yeah, that's going to be... It's a great amount for the treasury, but I don't really need that much money at the moment. I'll just dig with caution because I don't think any of this really does much for our income on a turn base. This is just like a one-time bonus we're getting, which I don't care for any of these. Not at the moment. Yeah, we're close. We could reach the treasury goals. Ooh, it's getting bad with Gondor and with Rohan. I think what I'll do is just kind of give some gifts to Rohan. Just a medium gift for now, because I'm trying to get 100,000 in the treasury. So we're just a handful of turns away from reaching that. I really wish we conquered Moria earlier in the campaign. But that's the thing about Dawnless Days, is that I feel like the good factions may have to be nerfed more in the next release the devs are working on. Because in both campaigns for Dale and Erebor, our allies do pretty darn well. The good factions tend to hold their ground very well, and they succeed more often than the evil factions.
The dwarf is ready.
But this time around was just crazy. Like, all the evil factions got wiped out, which was unlike the last campaign. And I didn't even have to do that much work against the Haradrim. Like, Rohan, Lothlorien, and Gondor took care of them for us. We only fought a handful of battles against the Southrons. All we had to do was just take care of the Easterlings, which Dale helped us fight. Alright, we're getting closer. You know what would be great is if we can get our strength ranking past, like, number 3, or if we can get it up to a 3, that'd be great. Because then our relationship with Dale might actually improve. I'm gonna let another turn pass here. I haven't seen the movies in years. Yeah, the movies are absolute masterpieces. The books are wonderful too. I've read all the Lord of the Rings books rather recently in the past year. Read The Hobbit as well. Oh, they're trying to offer a lot. Yeah, I can't do that. Sorry, guys. Short victory. Okay, so we got that far. Look at that. But yeah, the movies are absolutely amazing. They are my favorite movies ever. Apart from a few other classics out there. But the books are also quite a treat, especially if you can start getting into the Silmarillion. A lot of people find it very challenging to read the Silmarillion because of the verbiage and Tolkien's writing style. But the great thing about that book is the first time I read it, it was very overwhelming. But the second time I picked it up, I fell in love with it even more because I understood it better. I got like I got a better gist for a lot of the stories that Tolkien wrote about in the First Age of Middle-earth. So the books are wonderful. I'm only disappointed that I didn't make time to see The Return of the King in theaters recently, because they did bring that back to movie theaters, but got too busy with work. Okay, so we have 100,000 talents in the treasury. I wonder why they call it talents. I mean, could just refer to it as gold, right? Prosperity spectacular. Dominance level 10. Okay, well, I don't even know what that does. Alright, we achieved our goals by... Let me see here. Yeah, I'm trying to understand how this event feed works. So is this the last... Is this the most current year? 3026 TA. Interesting. Take a look at our stats here. Talents is from the base game. It's Roman currency. Ah, I see. I see. I gotta pick up on my Roman history better. That's probably one thing that the devs have to... There are a few things the devs have to work on, for sure. It's not perfect, but I'm still impressed with how much work went into the campaigns. Alright, so current turn is 281. We hold 40 settlements. Captured 37, lost 6, yada yada yada. We destroyed 4 factions. That's pretty cool. Current allies 2. 3 trade agreements. Our total income over 8 million talents. That's pretty funny right there. Income from tax. How am I reading this? 6.5 million. Okay. Forces. Total military forces established 17. I wonder if there's like a record of victories and defeats. Here we go. Total victories 92. Land battles 45. 0 naval victories. Unsurprising. Heroic victories 2. Losses. Here we go. Total defeats 2. Land battle defeats 1. Settlement battle defeats 1. And what's this? Total actions. Agent actions 93. Yeah, we used the crap out. We definitely we used our agents quite a bit. We pushed the crap out of the agents. Total successful actions 49. Yeah, pretty 50-50 with the actions. The one thing I find kind of weird about agents in Dawnless days is that the AI doesn't seem to make use of agents at all. So I'm kind of wondering if the devs are, if that's like an issue the devs have to work on, because I'm playing this on very hard difficulty, and the AI does not make use of agents whatsoever. So I could use my spies to poison, to assassinate, to sabotage, commit arson, but I never get any of those issues from the AI whatsoever. It's kind of strange. Alright, and I guess we'll continue just for a little while. I don't know if I'll continue in terms of the campaign, but just kind of look at the campaign map. Uh-oh, Gondor really hates us now. Oof, not good. Yeah. Yeah, if we play this campaign any longer, we're going to end up going to war with, like, half of Middle-earth. Can you still load the base game with Dawnless installed? Yeah, you definitely can. I mean, that's what makes Steam so easy when it comes to the mods, is that all you have to do is just go into the mod manager. When you install Dawnless Days from Nexus mods, then all you have to do is just go into mod manager and enable the mods that you've installed. And when you want to go back to the base game, all you have to do is just go back to that mod manager and just switch off the mods, and you can just play the original base game or just any other version of the mod that you downloaded. And most mods are balanced around normal, so that could affect it for Rome 2 and Attila. Okay. But then again, this game also has legendary difficulty, so I'm wondering if enemy agents are only a factor if you're on legendary difficulty. But legendary is very unique because apparently legendary does not allow you to go to save games. It doesn't allow you to, I don't even think it allows you to refight battles. So if you do poorly in a battle, then you kind of have to suck it up and deal with it. So I'm only on very hard difficulty as with wars. Don't know if I'm ready for legendary. Plus, the next faction I want to play is as a woodland realm, so I don't think I'm ready to play as the elves on legendary, because I know this is one of the hardest factions to play at the moment. The only other faction that might be worse than the woodland realm would probably be Gondor, because I've been watching another streamer play Gondor, and on legendary difficulty, he was just getting his butt kicked all around here. I think he's doing way better now, but he was not doing great for a good while. Yeah, diplomacy can be rather tricky in this mod. It's not like in Medieval 2, where diplomacy is pretty much locked in as soon as you forge an alliance. There are so many factors that can determine whether or not your closest neighbors will remain friends or turn into enemies. Mostly played legendary on Attila. It doesn't affect agents, but you get a base -8 public order. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons Legendary difficulty, I think it's been argued that Attila is one of the hardest Total War games to play, especially because base game Attila is very difficult to deal with in terms of public order. I wonder if public order has been kind of nerfed in Dawnless days, just because to some degree you kind of have to keep to the lore of Middle-earth, so it's not as cutthroat as the late Roman Empire. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with the Erebor campaign. I don't think I'll go towards long victory, because in order to achieve long victory, we have to construct 4 more of these, which I don't think is going to happen. And we have to have 1,000,000 talents. Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. That's going to take way more turns to get to. So yeah, I don't think long victory is going to be a thing here. I'm pretty happy with just ending it on short victory and domination victory. But the next faction I play as, I definitely want to take more progressive steps to reach long victory, because there are some things I could have done differently to actually reach this objective without being in the scenario that I'm in right now. Because right now, diplomacy-wise, we're kind of, we're on very shaky ground. If we try to pursue long victory, there is absolutely no doubt we're going to end up going to war with Dale, Gondor, Rohan, or all 3. Like, I'm fairly confident the elves will be okay with us, but the other human factions will definitely be angry with me, and then I'll end up fighting all these guys, trying to reach my long victory campaign goals. But if I had paid more attention to these objectives earlier in the campaign, I could have done the following. I think taking Moria way earlier in the campaign would have been possible if I had been more aggressive in fighting the goblins in this area, because the goblins ended up getting destroyed mostly by the elves. So by the time I entered that fight, I only had to take like 5 cities away from them. I took Betterhearth from them, I took Durnslade and gave that to the elves, I took Beorning Hall, Goblin Town, and Farothran over here. But the problem is, I got delayed taking Beorning Hall because I was a little too cautious due to their numbers. If I had been more aggressive, I probably could have pushed all the way down and started taking some of these cities down here if I had been a bit more progressive on that front. So I wish we could have taken Moria sooner, because that could have allowed us to already achieve one of our bigger objectives earlier in the campaign. And then, let me see here. As for the treasure hoards, I think this is something we should have done earlier in the campaign too, because now that we're trying to catch up on them, this is why our diplomacy is struggling so much. It would have been easier to build these treasure hoards, I would say like 50 to 100 turns ago. If we had started like 100 turns ago, okay, it would have put us in a better place, because by around that point in the campaign, there were still plenty of evil factions left to fight, and that's what was basically unifying all of us and allowing us to have better diplomacy with each other, just the fact that we shared common enemies. But now that we don't have common enemies anymore, they're going to be ganging up on me with everything they don't like about me. So if I started building treasure hoards a lot sooner in the game, I could have pieced it out to a point where, hey, I could have built 6 treasure hoards altogether and have avoided conflict with any of the good factions. But that's another thing too. I should have been more aware of how treasure hoards work, and I should have started building at least a couple of them 100 to 150 turns ago. But I was too afraid of taking a penalty hit. But that's what I could have done way earlier. It's probably the one thing I wish I'd done much earlier in the campaign, more so than anything else. We should have started building treasure hoards and spaced them out over long periods of time. That way, we're not taking such a huge penalty hit trying to build all of them at once, because the treasure hoards do take quite a hit on diplomacy. Because you could see here, yeah, you lose -20 to diplomatic relations with all good factions. Plus 10 to influence due to ignorance. Chance for events to trigger related to this location. I'm not entirely sure what that entails, you know, because nothing's really happened. Maybe the more treasure hoards we build, the more likely something bad is going to happen, but I have no idea what that could be. My only theory is that maybe that'll lead to a large army of orcs trying to steal one of your cities. I mean, I doubt we're going to be dealing with a dragon or a Balrog. Highly unlikely. Though that would be cool as heck. Terrifying as heck too, but I don't think the devs have anything for that whatsoever. It's really not. It just has a lot of player traps and anti-player bias. Attila, even as the Western Roman Empire, is actually easy. Really? Because there's a lot of streamers out there who say that playing as Western Rome is one of the hardest campaigns in Total War games. Attila is only hard if you make it hard, if that makes sense, but I have 990 hours in that game. Yeah, I'll take your word for it. But I definitely don't want to play as the Western Roman Empire, because that just looks super stressful. But I've heard people complain about Dawnless days, and the thing about Dawnless days is that if you're used to Medieval 2 and Rome Total War a lot, then Dawnless days is going to be a wake-up call for you, because if you're very much used to those older Total War games and those mechanics, and you haven't played a lot of Rome 2 or any Attila whatsoever, then there's a lot you're going to have to learn. So I've met some people who have complained about Dawnless days because they don't like how hard the campaign is. But it doesn't take much to really learn about the mechanics and how to overcome the issues you've been dealing with, like public order, dealing with food as a factor, trying to increase wealth. I actually think managing an economy in Dawnless Days is easier than in Divide and Conquer or any other Medieval 2 mod for Lord of the Rings. Or Lord of the Rings mods for Medieval 2. I would argue it's easier to maintain an economy here than any other Lord of the Rings mod. Because playing Divide and Conquer is brutal in the early game, just trying to bring in any money. Like, if you're playing as the elves, it's impossible to make money as the elves in Divide and Conquer. I don't know how bad it is here in Dawnless, but I've already played as Dale and Erebor, and I would say money was hardly an issue. There were some times where it got tight, but still hardly an issue. It's very easy to make money as long as you just stay ahead of food, and that's pretty much it. The more food you have, the better off you're going to be. For the Western Roman Empire, don't play it how CA wants you to. Don't hold on to everything because you're punished for being large in Attila because of corruption. Yeah, that makes sense. I imagine you're going to have to give up a ton of ground just so you can kind of do a better job with the micromanaging. But I think that's what would happen. If I played as the Western Roman Empire, I'd probably just give up a bunch of territory left and right and just try to keep things as condensed as possible. Or I'll just go the route of, you know what, not a step backwards. We'll just fight to the bitter end. Don't care. We'll just fight to the bitter end. But yeah, there's a lot I do love about this this Dawnless Days campaign. So I am looking forward to playing more factions. In fact, let me go ahead and save it here. And then last thing I'll do is just kind of look at the factions and see which one I'm going to go for next, because this next faction I play as will probably be the last faction for a while. Maybe until the devs come up with their next big release. They did release a hotfix patch for this, which I'm pretty happy about. Yeah, because so far we've done well as the dwarves. We've won as Dale. I don't much care about playing as Rohan. And as Gondor, I don't think I'm ready to play as Gondor just yet, because I know that's going to be one of the hardest factions to play. Apparently the Woodland Realm is ranked as very hard, but I feel confident enough that we can make this work. I think this is going to be the strongest candidate so far for the next faction. Not going to play as any of the evil factions. I've already tried as the Easterlings. That was the first faction I tried playing. And I got my butt kicked time and time again. But they are very difficult to play as. I think their initial challenge should be very hard because they're surrounded by enemies on all sides, and then they have to deal with Dale like less than 20 turns into the campaign. Dale's already attacking them with full stacks, so they're very difficult to play as. Might even play as the Southrons because I do like their unit designs. They have some pretty impressive looking troops. Plus, they're all the way down here in the south, so not as... I mean, I think they have like some sort of clan reunification script to go through. But I would like to try my hand playing as the Southrons eventually. But I think the Woodland Realm is going to be my next priority. Just abandon it and destroy all your buildings except Italy. You'll start with 100 to 150k in gold. Just reinvest and fight the civil wars. You'll be fine. Sauron? Oh yeah. You do get Sauron here. And Mordor, Barad-dûr. Apparently, their initial challenge is easy. But the thing about Mordor is that I think Mordor needs to be buffed a bit. Because in all 3 playthroughs that I've done in Dawnless Days, playing as the Easterlings, Dale, the Dwarves, Mordor just continues to get its butt kicked. Like, they'll do well for a while, and it'll kind of go back and forth for a bit, but eventually they'll end up getting destroyed. So it's not like in, for example, Divide and Conquer, where Mordor just slowly starts expanding and then eventually becomes this gigantic juggernaut in Middle-earth. These guys continue to get their butts kicked all the time. So by the late game, they're already on the verge of collapse or they're completely wiped out. So I think they need to be buffed a little bit more. The Southrons, however, are a different story. So these guys won't be much of a threat in the beginning, but eventually they'll just start expanding north like a wildfire, and then they become a super powerful faction by the late game. But yeah, I think what I'll do, just for maybe the last 10 or 15 minutes of the stream, I think we'll just pull up a replay here. Let me see, where is it? I gotta come up with better titles for these battles. Last battle for Erebor, let's see here. Because now I can just sit back and just watch the battle unfold.
See the flames!
And then we'll max out the graphics here. There we go.
The city is ablaze! Look! Friendly banners! Our reinforcements arrive!
Got all the civilians running around. Where are the rest of their
The
troops?
enemy should know when the odds are hopeless.
Yeah, these guys are just standing in the fire. I think all their troops are just on the... Most of their troops are just right here. Alright, we'll speed things up. Ooh.
Bloody bastards are breeding like flies!
I wish I had a more impressive battle to fight than this one. For the last stream for Erebor. But I guess I kept this siege going for way too long. Oh, got some guys burning here. Oh. Oh wow, more direct hits. That's another thing about Attila is that siege equipment is way more accurate. Catapults are far more devastating here than in most other Total War games.
Now, you fool! They look like they want to fight.
Alright, these guys are already running away.
Enemy showing an interest, sir.
Then let's get ready to greet them, shall we? Men, swords drawn, and make ready! I don't mind dying when you can see their eyes.
Alright, let's start speeding things up. Hope they got some more troops in the back there. Oh. That was a near direct hit. The last stand of the Haradrim. Here come the dwarves. Alright, so this is where most of the fighting took place.
Not much longer.
I would like to see if I can get a screenshot of the dwarves and elves fighting together. Because I don't think... This may be the only battle where we were actually able to fight alongside the elves manually.
The enemy is attacking our ally.
Oh, and they're also using our siege tower here too. That's interesting. Uh-oh. Hit our allies by accident there. Oopsies. See if I can get a good shot with one of the boulders flying in the background. Flaming shots. Oop, a little bit of a freeze there. Not really the best screenshot. Besides, the action's not going to last very long, so let's try to get what we can here. Of course, I can't see any of my dwarven troops because they're so short and they're in the bushes. Oh, there we go. That was cool. Glad we got that. That was pretty cool. It's hard for me to get those kind of flipping shots. They happen when you least expect it. Alright, and they've broken through the front gates. Oh, we just stabbed him right there on the wall. Yeah, I think after these guys flee... Yep. Only these guys are left here, but the cavalry's going to make short work of those archers. Alright, let's see if I can try to get this impressive shot with a building in the background. Come on, dwarves, get in there and fight. Or not. Oh, we hit their cavalry again. By accident. Yeah, I think we wiped out all of their forces.
We are moments away from victory.
And they're just trying to break through a barricade here. Okay. That's the end of that. Nothing else left to show, really. Alright then. Well, I am going to go ahead and end it on that note. That was fun. Finished up the Erebor campaign rather nicely. Again, I wish I could have gone toward... Well, I wish I could have finished Long Victory, but probably not going to happen, given the circumstances with diplomacy. But hey, Muriel, I really appreciated you joining the stream. Hope you give me a follow. Let me know if you do any streaming yourself, especially any other Total War titles. Be more than happy to watch what you're playing. Here we go. Alright then. Well, you take care, guys. Thanks again for watching.